This weekend, the Borderland was the host to the USATF Region 10 Junior Olympics. Teams were representing from El Paso, New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado. One of the top organizations here in the Borderland is the El Paso Supers Track Club, headed up by Robert Clark. With athletes qualifying for nationals in virtually every event going into Sunday's finals, the Supers continue to prove that they are the premier track club in the city, and this is highlighted in young phenoms like Sydney Davis. We took a few minutes to talk to this young phenom about the event. All right, folks, welcome to another episode of Borderland Sports Report. We are joined here today by a local sensation, Sydney Davis. Sydney, thank you for joining us.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
So, Sydney's 8th grader, rising 9th grader, phenom here. Her times stand up against anybody in the city and, for that matter, in the country. So what's been your secret at such a young age to have that drive to do this?
Honestly, it's been God, really. It's been God in my family. I've been getting a lot closer to God, making sure I'm communicating with my family, and of course my coaches, you know. Yeah. Getting to the next level, it's been just different, you know. Yeah. Making sure I'm on myself a lot harder, making sure I know what I'm doing, who I'm with, who I'm coaching, who I'm not coaching, you know, so.
Okay. Now, you're part of the Supers.
Mm-hmm.
So what has that been like? I mean, you've been with them off and on for
about 6-7 years now.
6-7 years. And so what's been your secret? What's your secret?
I think the coaches, the support system they have, the talent that they showcase. I mean, I have girls that just push me to be better people. You know, my coaches, yeah. They're always on top of me about everything I do. So I think definitely my coaches and my teammates, they keep me.
Good deal. So what events are you participating in here this week?
So I have the 100 hurdles. I did the heptathlon. I have long jump and triple jump.
Okay. Good stuff. Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. That you don't have to answer this. Here's the question of the hour. Where are you going to high school at?
Next question.
Everybody's wanting to know that question.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely been awesome to have you out here.
Yes.
To see you run. And so you got jumps today. What are you jumping today?
Big PR. I'm hoping a big PR, about 5.2 meters. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'm just making sure I get my spot at nationals. So that's the job. Get it done.
So now where are they having the nationals at this year?
Sacramento.
Sacramento, and that's the drive. That's
yes,
the goal, right?
Yes.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness, LLC. We're back. Everyone, welcome to another episode of Borderland Sports Report. I'm here. My name is Steve Howard with my co-host Kenny Davis. And boy, what an exciting week we had.
Ooh, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, it was a lot of fireworks. We're gonna hit 5 of these games and kind of go over like what we saw and kind of going forward.
Steve, I tell you what, it was great to see the kids get back on the field. Nothing like Texas football Friday night lights. The kids were getting after it. You could see it's nothing like the cauldron to see who can take it, who can stand it.
And, it's funny, some of those scoreboards got lit up, but so did the sky.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I tell you what, Friday night, the number one opponent seemed to be the lightning and the weather with multiple delays, and you had some cancellations out there.
Definitely.
And so for those young men who did not get to play their games because they were canceled, hey, hang on in there. There's another week that's going to get you an opportunity to let you do your thing and let you show what you can do.
Now, my question, are they rescheduling those games?
Some of them, no. I was talking to somebody in New Mexico, a buddy in New Mexico, and he was saying games like that because they're just preseason.
Don't impact the postseason.
Yeah, they don't impact the district schedules of postseason games.
Gotcha. So like that Sanelli game, just
yeah,
gone,
Sanelli
right?
and Anthony. No, that's not going to be replayed.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, we got 5 games. We're gonna hit preseason number 1, preseason number 7. Kenya Teal, Pebble Hills.
Yeah, I tell you what, dynamic teams, you know, especially coming out of last year, and everybody was curious to see how how the players were going to handle some of the new spotlight that was placed on them, and then really Canateo to see what they were going to do after losing, you know, the 4-star superstar L.J. Martin, who's currently getting ready to do his thing for BYU today, and so it was really interesting to see how both teams were going to react.
I mean, Pebble Hills came out hot.
Oh, absolutely.
They came out hot, 14-0.
Yeah, 14-0 came out on fire.
21-7.
Running the ball, though. I mean, the quarterback, Guy Ochoa, was running the ball, and the running back, Quarles, boy, he is a handful. Last year, he was really getting it going, and then he had an injury, and that kind of slowed him down. And now they had Jacob Ledesma to fall back on last year, and so we just certainly hope, like for every game, you have health. You know, the kids play a great game, tough game and all that, but they come out healthy. And so let's get right to that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at 21, I think it was 21-7.
Yeah.
And then something happened.
Something happened.
Kenny Teal's quarterback he just went crazy.
He went crazy. Knox was really playing well. The great thing that you could see about Knox is that this young man would put the ball in the right places when he needed to. And then when he needed to pull the ball down and run, he can handle his business. And between the tackles a couple times. So at 5'11", 190 pounds estimated, he is a handful.
Definitely.
And wake up 258, because this if they thought that, you know, things are going to kind of slow down over there with the Eagles and Canateo, that's not going to be the case. The defense was solid.
Yeah, and then the second half, they basically shut Pebble Hills down.
Oh, yeah.
They gave it the 3 points at the end to seal the game for Pebble Hills, but they shut them down in the second half. And we talked about it, those 2 corners for Kenya Teal, 1-7, 1-4. I don't know if that played a part in it or not, but they didn't throw the ball.
No, not at all. And
Pebble Hills didn't throw the ball.
Pebble Hills didn't throw the ball, and Truth in London, Gael started off slow. And it's a new season, early, little jitters, but started slow. Now on his side, all the weight room training he put in, he really, when it was time to pull the ball down and run, he was a runner. I mean, and he was a dynamic runner. Now throwing the ball, going forward, like every young quarterback early in the season, it's going to be a work in progress.
Yeah. Now I will say this, and I think we can go to the next game after this. When it mattered, he showed off that arm. That 30-yard bomb to Mark Torres to put them in field goal position was like, I don't know, it was like 10, 15 seconds left. That was a dime.
Oh, a dime. And that's what you do. Your superstars, your number ones, your QB1, your wide receiver 1, those young men, when it's time to show up and the game is on the line, those guys, that's where the ball's going. You can have them double covered, triple covered. They're going to throw the ball there because that player is going to come up with the ball, and the quarterback's going to put it just in the right spot so that the player can make a play. And so one thing that we take away from that game, Pebble Hills is a work in progress. They're going to be a developing football team. Now they see some things they got to work on. Quarles, I said it here today, is going to be a handful 1-6A. The young man can do it, okay? Yeah. He can do it. That's going to take some pressure off of Ochoa for sure for Pebble Hills. And then Canateo. Boy,
they're a handful.
Rinse, wash, repeat, do it again. They're going to be solid in 2-5A, and expect them to, when it's all said and done at the end, I really think, based off some things we saw, and we'll talk about it later, they're probably got a shot to hold up the trophy again. And
quiet as kept, Knox got an arm on him.
A solid arm.
Knox got an arm on him.
He showed some things. On Thursday night that is going to make teams have to game plan for that. They have a great running game. And all of that, but he can throw the football.
That first touchdown that they scored off the play action, corner bit. And he threw a bullet to that kid.
Threw a bullet, put it right on the money. Accuracy.
So I was very impressed. They showed me something. I didn't think that game was going to be that close.
Sure,
I really didn't.
I don't think a lot of people did. I mean, everybody knew that Coach Brooks has always got his teams ready to play.
Yep.
Solid football team always. But you just thought that Pebble Hill had a lot more, tools in the tool belt, if you will, to make it. It was going to be a tough game, and that certainly was not the case. And it was on the road, so they showed up big
Definitely.
on the road for Canutillo. So. Wake up, 2-5A. Here they come.
And kudos to the kicker for Pebble Hills. He had missed 3 field goals, and to step up in there, game on the line, put it right through the uprights.
People don't know this. Saw him the night before, and there was a little conversation about that, about a scenario like that coming up, and of course he delivered. He certainly delivered.
Definitely. Well,
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Pebble Hills on going 1-0, and I think that both those teams will be just fine this year.
Hey everybody, welcome to season 2 of Breaking the Music. My name is DJ Lady Dubois. I will be your host for this season. I hope you guys will join us because on this show we will have artists, musicians, DJs, bands on this platform that will be able to perform for you guys. If you're looking for something that's going to take your interest, if you want to know about the music industry, come on, tune on in. Come on down here for a live studio audience. We have everything. We'll see you soon.
The surprise, I think, for a lot of people, Lubbock and Socorro.
Wow. Wow. Look, I'm stuttering because Socorro came out. You heard a lot of rumors in the offseason with Famaligi coming in and tweaking and retooling the offense and the offensive line and things like that to see what kind of impact that was going to have. And, wow, those kids played their hearts out. They were tough. They showed some toughness. Being a coach who's coached down there, you can have some challenges here and there down there in Socorro, but I tell you what, they showed some really good toughness. That defensive line for them, the next set of teams who play them, wake up. It's not going to be the old Socorro. You are going to have to move people off the spot, and their offensive line, they did a really good job giving their quarterback time to throw.
Definitely.
And that's where you saw Famaligi's piece show up. They gave that the offensive line gave the quarterback time to throw, and he was getting the ball down the field. And so Socorro, don't be surprised if they're going to sneak out maybe 2-3 wins that people didn't expect them to pull out. Definitely.
So I'm definitely excited for that team. I think they're headed in the right direction, and like you said, they're going to be a surprise, and they're going to win some games that people weren't expecting them to win.
No doubt. I mean, next week, and they've got Bel Air over at Bel Air, and for the Highlanders, put your chin strap on. It's going to be something else. I mean, those kids are going to come ready to play.
Definitely, and that kind of segues us into Bel Air and Irving. Man, you talk about fireworks, 60-0. A lot of their starters play a half.
Yeah, a half, and obviously being at the game, and they spread the ball around to, a little bit of everybody. A lot of young guys got in. I want to highlight one young man, Angel Dominguez. He's a freshman. You heard that name first here. That young man is going to be something special. He's a freshman. He's the number 2 guy. He's playing backup, and the game was not too big for him, and so that was fantastic to see that. And so now the normal cast of characters, of course, Norm Moreno, he did his thing. He had 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdowns. Chris Davis, the first punt of the game, they kicked it down the middle, and he takes it to the house 60 yards. Mark McKeeby, yeah, that guy, pick six infantry. He had a pick six in the game, and then also on offense caught a touchdown. Oscar Martinez also as well. So now the surprising thing that there were times that Irvin was able to on their defensive line hold some things together, but you could tell Irvin is very, very young. But they got some pieces out there in the future that they can be optimistic about.
Definitely. And you brought up that punt return by Davis. I mean, people are going to look at the stats and be like, he didn't have these gaudy numbers, but, I mean, 60 yards, 65-yard punt return. I mean, you can see on the film, when you see that return, you can see the athleticism. You can see everything that everybody's been really gushing about this young man. But, I mean, they didn't really need him to do a lot offensively.
No.
But you want to see those numbers, especially when you talk about the recruiting aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's always going to be the challenge for every head coach. They want to make sure they get the win. They want to keep their athletes healthy, and then tie into it, especially when you're talking upperclassmen, whether it's juniors and seniors. Film's very important, and so if the young men or women, because there's women playing football now, certainly are trying to do some things at the next level, that is certainly always going to be one of those things that's not at the forefront of the mind, but it is at the back of the mind.
Definitely. Next up, Riverside Isleta. It's probably the closest game of the day.
You know
When
what?
it's all said and done, scoreboard-wise.
Yeah, scoreboard-wise. Hey, guys, y'all missed a treat on that one. I got to see quite a bit of video of that one. Isleta started out, and the quarterback Martinez, as advertised, tall, athletic, strong. You can see the weight room work that he put in. He was dominant early on. And then the outside receiver that they have was great on the track last year, but wow, he came into his own in that first game against Riverside. He showed his height, he showed his strength, he showed his speed. He was really doing a lot of things. And again, young man from Isleta, the outside receiver, he is he's going to be one that keeps people on their toes in 1-5-8 for sure.
Definitely. And they got out to a big lead and had to hold on to that thing. I mean, Riverside did not go down. They did not roll over. They showed a lot of character in fighting to get back in that game.
One of the favorite things you hear the recorder and folks down there, lock the gates. Well, I tell you what, they got, they hit them in the mouth a little bit, Isleta early on, but then they locked the gates and they brought back some things that we've seen over that program for last several years. Toughness, never quit. Riverside's going to be just fine, and they're going to be that team that everybody expects them to be. And so, but to come back in the fashion they did, and it was on the road, that shows some tremendous character and depth in the football team that's been built over there.
Definitely.
Joe Burrow. I love me some Joe Burrow. Humble cat. I heard him say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. Now, can you imagine Joe Burrow with all his accolades talking about and conceding being maybe second fiddle? He didn't say who's second. He just said conceding to Patrick Mahomes. So
then our final game that we want to really focus on is the Chapin-Coronado game. And the reason why we want to look at that game really was injuries.
Yeah, certainly a surprise. There's a lot of questions as to Davion Singleton, the star athlete and quarterback, and everything for Chapin. He started off like most quarterbacks, started off kind of slow in the game, but late in the game there was a play that took place, and you saw him take a pretty good shot, but as everybody is, discussing, is he going to be in the concussion protocol? And these days, with the health of athlete and safety, always comes number one. You're going to wonder what it looks like next week for Coach Warner. And when Davion was out of the game, it was different, okay? It was very different for the Chapin Huskies, and you can see the impact that young man has on the football team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard to replace that athleticism.
Yeah, that's not just going to happen overnight. And while in that program, they've got some young freshmen, they say is Davion Singleton Light, who's going on, and some have estimated that Jamari Milton might step up, certainly to challenge that young man. They're both freshmen, but we'll see. I tell you what, high school's different these days, and so young men are always looking for opportunities, and so they'll compete for jobs, but they'll look for opportunities. Now, let's talk about Coronado. Owen was the man, okay? He was doing his thing out there at the outside receiver, wide open, catching balls. Coronado, everybody look in the camera. Coronado is not the same Coronado as last year. They're going to be a tougher football team. They're faster, they're athletic, and they showed that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, man. There's this huge number of homes on the west side.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you're talking 3 schools, really.
Right.
Canutillo, Franklin, Coronado.
Right.
That these kids have to choose to go to school from, whereas the rest of the city, so I mean, there's talent. There's a ton of talent.
A ton of talent.
And now it's just a matter of getting it all to just play together.
And I know Coach Pryford, in his own mind, I'm sure, as he's building that program, he's looking to get his share of that talent over for the Thunderbirds, and so they've started off nice. They had a good scrimmage against Bel Air. Then they carried it on against Chapin. So a lot of people were a little unsure, but Coronado is going to be a team to be reckoned with in 1-6A.
Definitely. And you know what? There's one other game that I won't say game, but we kind of want to look at is the El Dorado with that injury there.
Yeah, as we all know, or some don't know, maybe you're hearing it for the first time, Ray did not play in that game against Parkland. And so you always kind of wonder, 2 impact players on a team, what's going to happen when one graduates and leaves. And so, and in this case, the older brother left, and he's at McMurray now. And so Ray was there, but as we understand, he's got a few nagging injuries, and at the end of the day, guys, I mean, all of these are non-district games, and so you need that guy ready for that tough schedule of 1-6A. They're going to play 8 hard games in that district, and so you really work hard to win what you can, but you need that guy ready for that 8-game stretch.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point there. It's like people will put a lot of emphasis and a lot on these early games, but I mean, in the big scheme of things, they don't matter.
Right.
They don't matter. When I say they don't matter, don't take it that way, but like they don't matter when it comes to, are we going to make the playoffs?
Right.
Can we win district?
Right.
And so I think erring on the side of caution with him probably was a smart thing on that coaching staff.
Very smart thing by Coach Martinez, and certainly that was a very smart thing for him to do. And I know the player probably, he's probably 80% probably, as we estimate there, but you don't need that right now. I mean, and I'm sure that was tough for the player to kind of take a break and all of that, but he's going to be just fine. He's got plenty more games to play, and so, and he's going to get his for sure. And so, but what was surprising about that game is Parkland. You wanted to see what Parkland was going to do, a very senior heavy team last year, and they graduated a lot of dynamic playmakers off that team. McDuffie, he's going to be playing down in Jacksonville later on today, Alabama, so you wanted to see what Parkland was going to do. And Castillo, number 5, the kick returner, boy, right off the bat, 90-yard house call. First kickoff return of the game, and he took it to the house.
That's what's going on. I mean, those are things that, for them, I mean, I always looked at that Parkland team, and I'm like, man, they don't just reload. They just reload. They don't rebuild. They just reload.
Yeah.
And they definitely have cornered the talent there in the Northeast.
Sure, and it's tough in the Northeast because you've got Chapin, you've got Andrus, and you've got Parkland, and all 3 of those are within a good, 10 minutes of each other. Yeah, stones throw each other, and so everybody's competing for that talent. People don't recruit, wink, all right, across the city, but we do know that everybody competes for the talent, okay? And you'll see everybody at these youth games and middle school games watching and looking and mining talent. And so Parkland, Coach McQuarter, congratulations. You put it together, the first game, some new guys, got some confidence in the young quarterback, and they're going to gel, and they're going to be right where they normally are. It's going to be a fight in 1-5A.
Now, I do want to clean this up. We did not accuse anybody of recruiting.
Exactly.
We're not accusing anybody of recruiting. I mean, for the most part, I don't think that these coaches are out recruiting players. Parents are making decisions on what they think is going to be the best fit for their student athlete.
And it's always that way. I mean, parents are always going to look for the coaches and the teams that have the best opportunity for their kid to be successful. And then part of that is, who do you know as far as college coaches and contacts? And we're not talking just football, y'all. We're talking every kind of sport. So those are always important. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, there's certain athletes that are going to, their best time is going to be in high school, and then there's that select few that are going to move on to the next level. And so parents are looking for opportunities like that for their kids that are going to go to the next level.
Yep. So don't anybody take that and be like, oh, they just accused it. We're not accusing anybody of recruiting.
Yeah, no, we're certainly not saying that at all. And so just know that for all the young athletes, at the end of the day, go where you have the best opportunities for you, and then enjoy it and play hard and put in the extra work. And I tell you what, this week we've seen the teams that put in the extra work, okay? And you start to saw that show up right away early on in the season.
And not only that, too, I mean, think about it. Winning does matter. People want to be associated with winners, and that program has been winning for a long time. And so, and when you win like that, you bring quality people in, quality coaches, quality leaders around, and that has a lot to do with who shows up on your campuses for your various sports. And so, and academics. Let's not get that twisted either. At the end of the day, most of us are going to major in some job somewhere, okay? Very few people are going to play in the NFL, NBA, or run for USA track and field, Shakari Richardson, something like that, all right? But you want kids to really have a great experience in high school, great academic institution, and that's always what's most important. Definitely. And so on our next show will be Wednesday when it comes out.
In one quick, Franklin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Franklin.
Oh.
Sorry. Forgive us. First show, first game of the week. Franklin, we missed them. Shea Smith and Franklin, they played Centennial. And that ball game we knew it was going to be a tough ball game. I picked Centennial to win because they were in the state championship over in New Mexico, their big school. And so I said, man, this ought to be a barn burner game. And this is a coin flip. I'll tell y'all the truth. I just flipped the coin and just said, okay, this is who I think is going to win.
I picked Franklin.
And so, as advertised, I mean, it was a dogfight, slugfest. The heroes, Shea Smith did his thing. The Powers boys, Morales on the Centennial side, they played really, really tough, demonstrating once again that football in New Mexico is coming better. And the more times you can have the schools come across the border and play each other, the better. All right?
Definitely.
It's easier to go, 45 minutes, 2 hours than to go 5 or 6 on the other side of the state. Yeah.
But yeah, we won't touch those games right now.
Yeah.
But now, so the numbers everybody will go in this weekend, put in their stats and everything. And so on our next show, we'll present the player of the week for this past week. Once we get all the numbers and everything in from the coaches. But I mean, dude, I think this week to kick off the season was amazing. Mother Nature said I'm gonna be amazing too, and put my light show out there as well. But I mean, overall, I think what we expected to happen happened. the players who we thought they were. It goes back to we are who we thought we were, right?
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
we had teams who showed they are who everybody thought they were. Few surprises, but for the most part, I think everything kept the script. And I'm looking forward for another week of football.
Oh, yeah. We're going to reload, wash, rinse, repeat, reload. We're getting ready to light it up for week 2 with a number of dynamic games.
This has been another episode of Borderland Sports Report. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good